Um, this video I wanted to speak about just my overall thoughts of Dark Souls as a new player, because I know there's a lot of players who have been playing this game for years, and I wanted to tell you about my thoughts of the series at the moment. I'm still playing through Dark Souls 3, but I've completed Dark Souls 1 with the DLC and Dark Souls 2 with all the DLCs, and I've played them in order. They went Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. And I wanted to give my thoughts on the games overall as someone who is new to them. Well, new to an extent. I played Elden Ring for the first time 2 years ago when it came out. Well, a bit after it came out. And then I played Bloodborne. And then I played Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3. And I did play a bit of Sekiro in between, but I decided that I wanted to do the Souls series first. So I played Elden Ring, Bloodborne, and then I played Sekiro, but I got up to Genichiro and I killed him and decided I wanted to do the Dark Souls series first, and I'll play in order. And my thoughts on Dark Souls is what I'm going to be talking about. So, Dark Souls 1, overall, if we're talking about my own personal feeling for the game, I like it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's a good game. Not that it's horrible, but it has the same problems that many other people give it, or give to Dark Souls 2. I mean, like bad hitboxes, registration and stuff like that. Just overall things of the like of that, which I think some people unfairly rate the game Dark Souls 2 because of the hitboxes, when Dark Souls 1 also had the same issues. Maybe there was some differences, like during the Iron King or Iron Crown DLC, there was some enemies that had very questionable hitboxes with their attacks, like the skeleton guys who jumped with the two axes and they slammed into the ground. That would hit me from ages away. But there are certain things in between in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 that are very relative between both of them, and I don't see why people don't treat it fairly. They say Dark Souls 2 sucks and Dark Souls 1's amazing. I can understand why you would think that, maybe because of the interconnected world in this game. That could be something you like, or maybe you have a bias towards this game, but I would say it's unfairly rating it by saying it's better or way better than Dark Souls 2, because I just disagree with that. But I did like Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 personally, but I wouldn't necessarily say they are either good games. I think they both verge on being bad or mediocre in the objective terms, and I don't mean literally objective, because it's completely subjective if you like it or not, but I mean objective, like bad hitboxes, bad registration, like not registration but visuals for where the enemy's hitbox is. Like a lot of the time an enemy wouldn't hit your character model, like it would be way off and it would still hit your character and you'd take damage, right? Same with Dark Souls 2, and also in Dark Souls 3 as well, and Bloodborne, but I'm talking about this now. So I think Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, they're both mediocre games, but they have their redeeming qualities, like the atmosphere, the lore, and the overall gameplay could be kind of, I guess it's got its own charm to it, basically. Like, it's got its own clunkiness to it without it being horrible. Well, it's horrible, but I can see how someone would like it, even if it is bad. They could like the clunkiness of it, or they could like the feel or the vibe that Dark Souls 1 has, or maybe they have a personal bias towards this game overall, which would be completely reasonable. And for Dark Souls 3, I'm still playing through it at the moment. I played it in a very weird order, apparently, according to the people who have watched me streaming it. I went through it at an interesting rate. As soon as I got to the DLC, I went into it, and then I came back and killed the Deacons of the Deep and then went back. So I was around level 40, I think, in the DLC, and I went through it at that level, and it was a bit of a pain, but I liked it. It was enjoyable, the DLC was. I liked both of them, and I'm liking the game so far. I would say it's my favourite out of the three, just because it's more cleaned up. And I would say Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2 are on par with each other, with small biases for either of them. Like, I prefer the music in Dark Souls 1, like the Gargoyles music and Gwyn's theme, and I love Majula's theme from Dark Souls 2 as well, but I mean the boss music was just I don't remember much boss music from Dark Souls 2 actually, so I don't think it would be fair to completely rate it off of that, but I did like the music in this game more. Well, it was more memorable is what I'm saying. But I did enjoy Dark Souls 2, like, in despite of what other people have said about it. I think it was a good experience. I wouldn't say it was necessarily a good game, but I like both Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2, but I wouldn't necessarily say they're good games. Dark Souls 3, I would say it's a pretty good game, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying the game a lot, and I would say it's a pretty good game, maybe if not good game. So yeah, that's my thoughts on them. I also love Bloodborne. It's my favourite game at the moment. I love it. I've played it like 50 plus times. I love replaying it. It's my favourite game ever, and my thoughts on Dark Souls are there. I still haven't played Sekiro, and Elden Ring was great too, but it still had its flaws. But gameplay wise, it was definitely a good game. I wouldn't say it was great, but Elden Ring was good, and so was Dark Souls 3. I think I prefer Dark Souls 3 more than Elden Ring, though. So, yeah. I hope that helped anyone who wanted to know the thoughts of a new player to Souls on what the games are like. And I'll let you know my thoughts on Sekiro and Demon Souls once I get to play them. See ya.